Okay, so I'm crazy, you know. In that way that I'm not suicidal and I'm not a threat to myself or others, you know. And I was watching the news, and like they were saying stuff like, it was a rich man or something, a guy that said he was rich. He said he had some daughters and stuff like that. And that in order, to marry or be in a relationship with one of his daughters, you would have to, you know, um, satisfy him or something like that. And I don't know why, a man would want to ruin his own children's life, his own daughter's life, because if everybody is somebody's child, stuff like that. I don't really know their ages, but it's like, what if the guy, did not wanna, satisfy their dad, and he just wanted to marry, you know, the girl, you know, whichever one of the daughters, that it was that the guy wanted, as his wife. And so, some people don't get married because of their dad. And what I mean by that is that some people's dad ruined their marriage and made it, bad, because when a girl says that she wanted to get married, and when a guy said that he wanted to get married, the dad, one of the dads, I don't know if it was the girl's dad or if it was the guy's dad, you know, but sometimes the person's dad, you know, ruins the marriage, for the children. And it's crazy, because sometimes a dad would be like, it's his child, it's his daughter, it's his son, it's his daughter. A girl can be 18 years old, a lady, a woman, a girl, a female. Sometimes the parents, the mom or the dad, will be like, she's too young, she's still a child, she's still a baby. Of course, she's still a child to the parents, because no matter how old you get, the way it was explained to me, you'll always be your, parents' child. You know what I'm saying? You'll always be the child of your parents. Somebody was like, you could be 99 years old. And even if your mom or your dad was dead, you would still be their child, you know, something like that. So, being married, according to, you know, my marriage license, it says there was a date of April 30th, 2004. It seems like a family tried to ruin my marriage. I don't know where, you know, my wife is, or, the children and stuff like that. But, I was told I did a good job because, August 31st, 2004, a child, was born, and, given the name Yatrell, Johnson, stuff like that. And, according to the birth certificate, I was told that he's, 18 years old, legally, of age, for marriage and stuff like that. And when he was born, I was at the hospital, and I was like, I don't want any more children, you know. I don't want any more children. I wouldn't want to be accused of molesting someone's child. I wouldn't want to be accused of abusing someone's child. I wouldn't want a child to accuse me of, any bad behavior and stuff like that. So, it was different people, that was, telling me stuff about you can do this, you can do that, or you can have like a school or a preschool, or you can be a teacher's assistant or stuff like that, and in preschool and all of that kind of stuff like that, and babysitters club and stuff like that. I was like, man, I don't want no kid in Kabul deal. You understand what I'm saying? I do not want a kid and Kabul deal. Am I saying it right? The kid in Kabul, that kind of stuff like that. I don't know, if I'm pronouncing the words right, but I don't need the kid and Kabul deal, you know. There is no kid in Kabul deal for me, because, ever since August 31st, 2004, I was told that, it was for Yatrail, because, when he was born and stuff like that, just like right now, you know, I told, the person that was there with me that, not to go to work at those jobs. He was a lady, they said her name was Donna Russell. Something about a Piggly Wiggly in a grocery store. I told her not to go there, because, I was the one that, would go to work and, do my job as a dad, as a husband, as a family, And I was told I did, because since the child, according to the birth certificates, is supposed to be 18 years old, legally of age to get married and start his own journey. Since I did not do a boy insemination to him, since I did not abuse him, since I did not molest him, or any other child, for that matter, and then I did my job, because, since I did not have sex with underage children, underage people, I was told I did my job, And so, there was questions about, so what would be the problem? They said they had a family. Somebody was saying it was Jeremy's sister. Somebody was saying the girl named Angel Renee and stuff like that was their sister, and that Stacey Williams was their cousin, and that some dude named Sanders or Lafayette or something like that. I'm like, it's because of them. That's why I don't want to do none of that no more. That's why I don't want to be a part of what they got going on. It's because they said Lafayette Sanders was their family. It's because they took me around those abusive people. It's because they said Stacey Williams was their cousin. It's because they said that Linda and Glenda and the mix that they was doing. It's because they didn't tell the truth, It's not about projections or speaking in code. It's because I have not seen the video and I have not heard them actually say the words that, about Lafayette Sanders, Stacey Williams, Brian Green, Derek Green, those people, all of them, everyone that was with, those Naquan, the Singletons and John, and talking about Scooby-Doo and the Pooh Bell and stuff like that, all of them. Because when they said they were associated with the group that you can get fucked in or sixed in, and it was underage children, And when I was like one of the youngest people, of my generation, when I got my marriage license, in the year of 2004, while the other people, was talking about this and talking about that and stuff like that, I don't want any parts of it, because, when they said they was part of this gang and that gang and this group and this frat, and, and they was talking about you can get fucked in or 16, I'm like, wait a minute. So how did those 12-year-old girls, those little girls, it was there because, I was the oldest, when I went to 2715 Avenue E of the children that were there, because I'm 16 years old. So, according to the family court of Jefferson County, I got sent to a juvenile when I was, 14, 15, 16, 17. And, I was still there when I was 18, kind of like the same way I was still here, when Yatrail, according to the birth certificate, is 18, And I was told I did my job, when I was there around the girls and stuff like that, and the guys for that matter. I didn't do a boy insemination to any of the guys, But I was molested and they did stuff like that to me. So I was told they have no excuse for doing that stuff to me. Because, I am 38 years old today. And since I am 38 years old today, and I never did a boy insemination to any underage child or to anyone, you know, I was told there's no excuse for why any of that was done to me because it's not in my karma. If I'm not the type of person that did any of it, I was told that, I was done wrong. According to the birth certificate, if it says Yatrell, Johnson, August 31st, 2004, so it says, 402 May Circle, apartment 402, Warrior, Alabama. When I tried to go to the Piggly Wiggly and get a job at the store, the lady that was there, it said she was part of the management or the owner, and she was married or something like that. They said her name was Donna Russell, Donna Russell, Russell or something like that. She may have changed her name since then because, I heard that she uses men and gets divorced and that she was a child abuser and that she ruined, a family. Because when the girl was never there and I was left at the house, it was a song talking about wait up a woman, left you home at the crib, changing diapers and shit with your trip. I didn't trip, There was never any, police reports of domestic violence or any bruises or scratches or fights, when I was at 402 May Circle. But I felt like shit the whole time because, when I was there, I'm like, seemed like I was just a babysitter or so, the whole time, because, while other people was running around chasing money and chasing dollars, while they was trying to make sure it was a grocery store, a Piggly Wiggly and stuff like that. The pig, I wasn't really focused on the pig, I don't even eat pork. I don't even eat pig, I haven't even been eating meat lately, it's crazy. But while they was obsessed with the pig and stuff like that, I'm like, who's there loving me, It's crazy because, before I went there and stuff like that, man, it seemed like when I went to Avenue E Inslee, 2715, it was a girl that, she would say, just for me. And I'd be like, hold on. What happened to that girl, What happened to the girl that would be saying just for me? Not for the children, not for Piggly Wiggly, not for money, not for the family, not for the group, not for, oh, and that other situation, not for, because when they was like, you can have 4 more girls and you can have 4 more different ones, not for, because, I don't want what they got, stuff like that, those situations and stuff like that. So when I was growing up, they said that it was this lady named Nick, Antoinette, Jarvis, and Jamel, something like that, And the lady named Aunt Ruth or Anna Ruth or something like that. Some other lady named Miss Ann or something like that. They were saying that those people were like our family and cousins and stuff like that. And, they would use those same names, since she was with a guy, married to a guy named Rod or Roderick or something like that. Or Rod, those are names. I never really knew them, I really didn't because, they would seem like they had no interest in me, They would always talk about going to California and brag on the synthesizer in their music and how they were going to be producers and, the rich people and being famous and stuff like that. And it seemed like they had a different kind of sexuality. They would talk about God a lot and they would talk about the Bible and angels and demons and, stuff like that, But it seemed like they had a different kind of sexuality or something that, it's not the same as, me and what I believe in, I just really don't understand, And, they would be into like stuff, that, I just don't understand. So it's no disrespect, of course, because I can't judge something that I don't understand, But since God is not the author of confusion, I wouldn't want to, be part of the confusion and, those other types of sexualities and situations. I don't really know how many times I've been molested before and after April 30th, those situations. But, someone pretended to be April Williams the same way someone pretended to be me because, somebody had, signed their name on a check in the year of 2015, sometime in the month of September or October. Because, I went to jail August 9th of 2015 because somebody said I would have to fight them in order to leave outside of, the hotel room. And I told her I didn't want to do it, I told the person there that I didn't want to do it, When I said that, and, it seemed like they had, like, I don't really know. I don't really know what happened, But, I was the victim, Because, when you love a family, I love you all, believe me, I do, I love the family, man, I love them all, What I do remember about, when I was there, I was never mad at, at Nate or Jarvis or Jamil, Candice and Ruth and stuff like that, they seem like very, different people with, a way that I just didn't understand. And, some of the people would be angry, some of the people would be laughing, So they one time, they went to this family reunion. It was at like this hotel, and I wouldn't really like those healing people and those Davidsons because they said her name was Sanders. And it was because of those Sanders people, just like when he was that dude that called himself Lafayette Sanders. I didn't like what those Sanders people would do. They would be very mean and so like when it came down to it, it's like I don't want a blended family. I don't want a blended family. I was never interested in a family reunion with those people. It's like they would have to build another kind of family tree or something like that. Because, it's because of those people that said their name was Sean and Tony, Tico and, the girls and the people that he was with and, his children and their family and the dude that they call Wendell and Davidson and, those people and Tequila and, something about Molly and Tanisha and Tamika and Kevin. Because I think his name was Kevin Sanders too, I believe it was wrong the way they did Ricky, because when you marry somebody, it was supposed to be 3 children, because it was supposed to be Kiki, Kevin, Tamika, and Tanisha. When all 3 of the children are not your children and you tried to make sure that somebody had a house and a home and stuff like that, I believe it's wrong the way that they did Ricky, the late husband of Margot Bazell. And how they used him for a house and stuff like that and stuff like that. And then, they said that she was having sex with other people or whatever, or all the children wasn't even his. When a person didn't even ask for a paternity test, just like I did not. When a person never asked for a blood test, just like I did not. When a person never questioned the paternity of the 3 children, and I only said I wanted 1 child, and after the first child was born, I didn't ask for any more children. I was told that Lord Jerry was born so that, Yatrell can have a brother. And then, Lord Jerry went to foster care, and then I was told that, Trinity was born so that, Yatrell can have a brother out of foster care because when Trinity was born, there was a court date, about what would happen to her. And at that same court date, they asked what would happen to Jerry. So, it was like all 3 of the children were for Yatrell. And none of it was for me, you know. So I felt like garbage, you know. I felt bad the whole time. Because from the time I went to 402 May Circle, you know, when a person ran out the house and ran to Donna and ran to Piggly Wiggly and went to Cane Creek, you know, and I was just there by myself, you know. When the people would tell me to go to the strip clubs, you know, the people on the radio, and they'd say go to the record pool, and they would say, you know, go and get your music played and stuff like that. When I was just trying to, you know, make sure that, you know, one child, you know, was straight and okay, you know. And it wasn't my idea for it to be more than one child. I'm just glad to know that, you know, I was told that the child, you know, according to the birth certificate, is 18 years old. And according to the Family Court of Jefferson County, you know, it was a link in the description. I was told that, you know, I don't have to, you know, do anything, you know, and that the mom or the family would have to explain, you know, the rest of it, you know, like whose idea was it to have more than one child, you know, stuff like that. Because you can't make me look like a deadbeat dad, you know. And I love you all, believe me, I do. And so, you know, no one's actually told me about what's going on with Lord Gerald Jackson, you know. No one actually ever told me what's going on with Trinity Jackson, you know. Because, you know, the whole time, you know, since, you know, April 30th, 2004, you know, somebody was being real mean to me that exact day of April 30th, 2004, and after that. And they was bragging on TJ, and they was bragging on Tony, and they was bragging on Toot, and, you know, stuff like that. Somebody acted like they was Toot girlfriend. Somebody acted like they was Casanova Bristow girlfriend. You know, somebody acted like they was Aldwin girlfriend. You know, somebody acted like they was, you know, Willie's girlfriend. You know, somebody acted like they was in a, you know, girl on girl relationship with Stacy and Lafayette and stuff like that. Because, you know, when those people were being abusive, you know, I felt like I was abused because, you know, I believe that's why they said the children were in need of supervision in those cases, because they was like, why did the girl that was with you, why she didn't tell you, Brandon, don't be over there at 2501 20th Street, you know, those Willie and those Aldwin people and, you know, those people that molested me, you shouldn't be around them. Because if you don't want to look like a child molester, why would you be around child abusers at 2501 20th Street, you know, stuff like that, you know. You know, I went to jail because I tried to tell them that stuff at the Family Court of Jefferson County. You know, they held me in contempt of court one time. And so, you know, they told me that I don't really have to come back to court like that anymore because, you know, like, they heard what I had to say, and, you know, no one's explaining to me, like, so what's supposed to happen to Lord Gerald? What's supposed to happen to Trinity? Because, you know, I care, you know, and, you know, I've been making these videos, you know, I don't understand, you know. And what was so special about Yatrell, you know, in the first place, to why he needed a brother or a sister? Because, you know, now that he's, you know, according to the birth certificate, he's supposed to be 18 years old, you know. Since I'm not a king and I'm not part of a, you know, kingdom of men or women or stuff like that, you know. And since I did not want, you know, a kid in Kaboo deal or whatever that is, you know. Since there was no contract to sign or no group to join or any of that, you know. Someone's dad, you know, seemed to have ruined a marriage, you know, for me, you know, and it's crazy because, you know, if it was a girl that was saying just for me, then, you know, it's been questions now that was saying, okay, so was I molested the whole time I was married, off and on again? Because if it was a girl saying just for me, who is the person that was saying a brother and a sister for Yatrell? Who's the person that was saying they got to make sure that, you know, Donna Russell and the people at Piggly Wiggly, you know, have a business? I think it was something, you know, about buy low quality foods. That's what they said, like on the income taxes or something like that. I think it was spelled BILO, quality foods or something like that. You know, who was the girl that, you know, was saying that, you know, it's all about Mark and stuff like that, and was calling her daddy Marcus Williams, and was saying her daddy named Marcus Williams. Who's the girl that, was saying that, she got to lay up in Marvin's chest, or she got to lay up in Lamar's chest and stuff like that? Who was that, Who's the girl that was saying that, she got to go upstairs with John, And why was she calling them names? Because, when I was there, it was like, instead of calling him John, why she didn't say, they call him John, but he the dude that was filling on all the girls at 2715 Avenue E. And then on Avenue H, it was the lady that they said her name was Patricia Williams. The dude that they called John, he was filling on that lady Patricia Williams' butt, and I saw him, and he did it in front of her children, and it was very disrespectful to her and the children. So why call him John instead of calling him by his character and telling, me that I don't need to be around people like that because, it seems like he was a sex offender and a child molester, and they called him John. They said he was some girl named Carmina. He was her cousin or something like that. And they said he already had children when he was over there, so he was neglecting his own children just to come and fill on children and ask children to have sex with him. So they was like, those were bad places. They were like, that's why they said they kicked them people out of 2715 Avenue E, Ensley, in Birmingham, Alabama. Because they was just molesting children, and the dude, Jeremy Williams, was saying he was a murderer and stuff like that. And then, they stuff talking about a body shop or body swaps. And, they was talking about Rachel and Leah and pretending to be different people. Those crimes they was doing. Then there was some real short dude, that they said was Jerry. Some dude, some twins, some fake lazy bone looking dude, that I don't like, I'm not his friend, I'm not his enemy or any of that, but, I didn't want the kid in Kaboo deal, I didn't want the record deal or the rap music deal or the, I didn't want to be famous or whatever, I was never part of what Amos or Bernard does, stuff like that, Weren't those that girl named Charlisa friends, some girl named Charlisa hanging out with a girl named Sophia and stuff like that. Those people that was on Avenue T. They had a group. It was called the Southern Hoes, is what I heard on the internet. That they was bragging on being prostitutes for some dude named Lenny and Jamie and stuff like that. It made me mad, because, I was like, why would they have had the children at 2928 Avenue T if it was their family? And instead of calling them people by their names, why they didn't say, that grown man that they said was Stacey Williams' boyfriend when she was a 14-year-old girl in the 9th grade, a child molester, And then they said they was part of a gang with him. So they said that grown man that they called Lenny and Janet was their OG. But they said their OG was a grown man that was a 14-year-old girl's boyfriend. And the 14-year-old girl was a single mother in the 9th grade, Stacey J. Williams, stuff like that. And I never fought any of them children. I never abused any of them children. I never did any of this stuff to them, stuff like that. So I was told that, somebody ruined the marriage or ruined their family or ruined, their lives and stuff like that. They said some dude they dad, because they was bragging on some dude named Clifford and some dude named Al, talking about an Eddie Jr. and an Uncle Arthur or Alfred, talking about a Malden or a Molden or something like that. Something about Tawana Williams and some dude named Chris and Kimaya. And they were like, but when you look at them birth certificates, they were like, them children was born underage. So it was like, I didn't want to be part of a blended family. So when they was like, hey, who is your family? You're not part of that group of child molesters and people that had underage sex with underage children and stuff like that. Because when they look at those birth certificates, and I was like, I was told someone had some explaining to do, not me, of course. Because, they can say Islam this and Islam that, but, those people believe in a different type of Islam, When there was no hymen and there was no virginity and, I wasn't given the opportunity, or I was treated like I wasn't worthy, then, I guess I just won't get it, I guess I just won't get it. It's not that deep to me. I don't need a virgin. I don't need a hymen, and I don't have to murder and I don't have to kill, and I don't have to be mad, and I don't have to abuse a person just because they did not have a virginity or just because they did not have a hymen, when I meet them, or stuff like that. I don't agree with sharing a bride, with a brother or a dad or another person like that, because when someone already put germs inside of a person's vagina, I'm not trying to get burnt